A world of wonder awaits. Join us as we bring you incredible stories of adventure, mystery, and magic. New episodes every week. The Forgotten Valley. The dawn broke over a restless world. Volcanoes thundered in the distance, spilling ash into the crimson sky, while colossal ferns and cycads swayed gently in the early wind. The land was alive with echoes of creatures, great and small. Each step a reminder that this was the age of dinosaurs, an era where survival itself was the only law. Among these creatures was a young Troodon named Lura. Though small compared to many giants that roamed the earth, she was quick, sharp, and above all, curious. While her pack focused on hunting and survival, Lura often wandered. She studied glowing plants at night, followed insects to their nests, and sometimes sat still for hours staring at the distant stars, wondering what they meant. That curiosity often drew her farther than she should go, and on this morning, it would carry her into the heart of a mystery older than her kind. She had followed a narrow stream through the undergrowth until the trees suddenly ended. Before her lay a hollow unlike any she had seen. A vast crater, drowned in thick mist, stretched endlessly before her eyes. The air itself seemed heavier here, the ground scarred as though the earth bore a wound. The elders of her kind had always spoken of this place in fearful whispers. They called it the Forgotten Valley, a cursed land where, long ago, something had fallen from the heavens in a blaze of fire, carving the earth and leaving behind a scar of light. Those who entered the mist never returned. Every instinct in her small body told her to turn back, but something in the mist shimmered faintly, as if calling her closer. Her heart pounded, yet step by step she descended, drawn forward by a force she did not understand. The ground suddenly shook beneath her claws. A deep vibration rolled through the soil. Then came the sound, slow, thunderous steps that crushed the earth like drums of war. The forest behind her split apart as the shadow emerged. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, a living mountain of muscle and teeth, a predator unmatched. Its roar shook the very air, sending flocks of pterosaurs screaming into the sky. Lura froze, every muscle trembling. The beast's golden eyes scanned the mist, nostrils flaring. Running would be useless. Her only path was forward into the forbidden valley. She darted into the fog, weaving between stones as the giant followed, its jaws snapping with the power to shatter bone. The ground cracked under its weight, trees splintered, the sound of pursuit deafening in her ears. Still she pressed forward until the mist thickened, cooling her skin. And then, abruptly, the ground beneath her paws began to glow. There it was, the heart of the valley. Rising before her stood a crystal obelisk, immense and half-buried, its surface alive with shifting blue light. It pulsed like a heartbeat, throwing beams of energy skyward. Strange markings danced across it, symbols no creature of her age could comprehend. Lura crept closer, her eyes wide with awe. As she gazed into its surface, her breath caught. The reflection staring back was not her own. Instead of scales and a slender snout, she saw a figure tall and upright, walking on two legs, its hands stretched outward with strange, thoughtful eyes. A human. She did not know what it was, yet she felt as though she were staring into a mirror, not of her own kind, but of something that was to come. Then the voice came, not through sound, but directly into her mind, calm, resonant, eternal. The chain of time begins here. The roar of the Rex shattered the silence. It was close now, crashing through the mist, each step a drumbeat of death. Its shadow stretched over her, its teeth glinting as it prepared to strike. Lura's instincts screamed at her to flee, but her curiosity anchored her. The crystal's light flared brighter, bathing her in an otherworldly glow. Trembling, she pressed her snout against its surface. The world dissolved. Stars whirled across the sky as if the heavens themselves were spinning. Mountains rose and crumbled in moments. Seas swallowed land. Glaciers advanced and retreated. Forests burned and regrew. She was swept through the river of time, weightless, powerless, her body carried by the tide of eternity. And then it stopped. She opened her eyes to find herself in another world, though the land beneath her paws was the same. Towering stone structures stood in patterns around her. Firelight flickered in pits dug into the earth. Strange beings moved about, creatures she had glimpsed in the crystal, humans. They were fragile compared to the beasts of her time, their bodies covered not in scales but in furs and woven hides. Yet in their eyes burned intelligence. Some carried sharpened stones tied to sticks, others carried bundles of food. They froze when they saw her, their mouths opening in cries of alarm. Hunters raised their weapons, forming a protective circle. But then, from among them, a boy stepped forward. Younger than the rest, his face filled not with fear, but with awe. His eyes, wide and unblinking, seemed to shine with the same curiosity that drove her into the valley. Slowly, carefully, he extended his hand toward her. The world fell silent. Lura lowered her head, locking eyes with the boy. For a heartbeat, she felt an unspoken connection, a bridge between two species separated by ages. She saw in him something familiar, a hunger to know, to understand. The voice returned, echoing softly through her mind. Past and future meet here. What binds you together is curiosity. The boy smiled faintly. His hand hovered only inches from her snout. She leaned forward, drawn by the strange warmth of this moment. But before their touch could meet, the light swallowed her once more. She gasped. The mist of the valley returned around her. The crystal was gone. The boy was gone. Only the scarred soil remained where the obelisk had stood. Silence pressed heavy against her. The Rex was nowhere to be found, as if the valley itself had driven it away. Lura staggered, her chest heaving. Had it been real? A dream conjured by fear and exhaustion? Yet she could still see the boy's eyes in her mind, could still feel the heat of the fire, could still hear the voice. Night fell as she climbed from the valley. The stars stretched endlessly overhead. And then, streaking across the heavens, came a blazing fireball, a star burning as it fell. She froze, her gaze fixed on its light. Her elders had spoken of such fire, the same that had carved the valley, the same that had birthed its crystal. Her heart thudded. She did not understand, but she knew the truth. The age of dinosaurs was mighty, but it would not last forever. Someday, the strange beings she had glimpsed would inherit the earth. She, Lura, had been the first of her kind to see what was coming. And as the falling star vanished beyond the horizon, she turned away, carrying a secret too vast for her small body, a secret the rest of her world would never believe. The chain of time had already begun.